Sonic the Hedgehog has been the subject of controversy since his plummet in 2006. But now, let's turn the dials on that oven back to 1991, when Sonic first sprung into the gaming scene. Back in the day, Nintendo was the king of gaming. If any sort of gaming was good, it was probably on a Nintendo console, like Mario, Zelda, and Castlevania, just to name a few. Then CES 1990 came, and Nintendo was ready to unveil their next biggest thing, the Super Nintendo. 16-bit Mario jumping about in crisp colors and levels, and breaking them with a cape occasionally, sealed the victory of Nintendo. There was no way anyone could top these guys. Or so most thought. Because someone decided to challenge the juggernaut with a surprising weapon, and that someone was Sega, or Service Games, and their weapon was a blue hedgehog named Sonic. Of course it didn't affect much at the time, but it affected enough to catch attention. The fact that someone challenged the great Mario was like a rags to riches story. But us living in the present, we know it ended up more like the story of Icarus. The Blue Booger certainly was iconic, even more so than Mickey Mouse at one point. In fact, I remember where I was the moment that Sonic 1 came out. Oh wait, my parents didn't fuck till 1993, and I didn't pop out till early 1994, so I missed that whole era! In fact, I didn't play Sonic 1 or 3 until I got the Classic Collection on the DS a few years ago. Now obviously that burning rivalry ended a long time ago, but even if it did, you can't help but appreciate the classics. Because that's why classics exist, to be helplessly appreciated. Yep. But that's enough of that history. Let's dive right in. Let's dive right into the first stop on memory lane, with Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Sega Genesis. Starting right off by pressing that there power button, you see the polarizing porcupine himself, but at the time, no one knew what horror he would cause in the future. Starting the game, we start on the first level, Green Hill Zone. Oh man, this zone is wonderful with green, bees, squares, green. Actually, as for Green Hill, it only shows bits and pieces of what the game has to offer. But before it ends, we have our first encounter with the villain of this game, Dr. Robotnik. Or Eggman. Whatever you fancy. And this man is a true villain, turning cute animals into robots, tormenting a blue hedgehog, and what's his first diabolical attack? A ball! What? Pure evil. And he swings it at you. At least he doesn't have two balls, otherwise we'd have a completely different game on our hands. After banging in his face a couple times, he flies off covered in ash, and you free the animals he had captured. Well, that was a weird first level, but I'm sure we'll never see it again. Now we move on to Marble Zone. Did you like that speed in Green Hill? Did you like flying everywhere, bouncing on enemies, running through caves like, yeah! You wanna fuck that speed, don't ya? Don't ya? Whoa! Well, get ready for this behemoth of speed! Fuck yeah! But being serious here, Marble Zone is pretty much Green Hill, except slower, and with lava, and temples. But it's not that bad of a zone. It has its slopes, and the platforming sections are fun in itself, but just standing there just gets tiresome after a while. Look, even Sonic gets sick of it. At the end of the zone comes Dr. Eggbotnik, and apparently he stops smoking some Green Hill and starts throwing lava at you. Something more conventional, but still 300 IQ. Next is Spring Yard Zone. This zone is a bit of a mix. There are some sections where you can gain some speed, but there's a lot of waiting around. Seriously, you could understand Dorian Gray before you got to move anywhere. This zone also introduces bumpers, a staple in the Sonic series, even where there's too many staples in the game to begin with. Then Egg Tits comes to throw blocks at you or something. A lot of platforming so far, but I think the next one will be purely speed. Nope, not exactly. This is Labyrinth Zone, everyone, aka why the fuck is this a Sonic level zone? On top of it being cramped and spikes everywhere, there's water, and apparently Sonic can't swim. Now, drowning in video games is common, especially at the time. Well, it's common sense. But it's not the fact that you're drowning. It's what plays while you're drowning. The most mentally scarring song of all video gaming. and anyone who's played Sonic knows this song by heart, no matter how long it's been. And in case you were missing some of that hardcore platforming action, Robopussy runs away while you jump up through spikes, projectiles, and steadily rising water. One word: frustrating! Next is Starlight Zone. Why, yeah! Finally comes Scrap Brain Zone, the final zone of the game. After Labyrinth Zone, I'm a hardened gamer. Nothing will catch me off guard. What a dick move! Blinking in this level can be fatal. This is probably why Billy Hatchman's weapons and Batnik's were so shitty. All of its budget went into this place. There's plenty of platforming and speed sections, but it's controlling both that's the hard part. Well, just finished Act 2. I wonder what Act 3 is gonna throw out. Oh, this guy's evil! Essentially a fourth act of Labyrinth Zone, and harder than all 3 acts combined. This is probably what I get for insulting his IQ. The final boss will probably be intricate and difficult too. Never mind. After making his last machine explode, you run through Green Hill, jump into the screen, and let the credits roll. Now, Sonic 1 may not seem like the most interesting and revolutionary of games, but hold that iPhone! It introduces the loop, something undoable of platformers at the time. Since Mario pretty much perfected the platforming formula, it was rare that anyone else attempted to mix it in and got a good product. Thankfully, Sonic finds a variable that works, which is speed. Essentially, jumps that would be impossible at 1 speed are made possible with enough momentum. Granted, this was introduced in Mario 1, but not to the extent that Sonic does it. It also allows you to go off slopes at ridiculous speeds. See, when you're upright, there's a speed cap programmed on Sonic, so his speed can only go so far. But when he rolls up, that speed cap is eliminated, so you can fly about almost insanely. This becomes a trademark in the classics, and every time you see a slope, you get goosebumps. But being unaware of that momentum can still lead you to death. Slipping off platforms, falling into spikes, and the sort can occur quite often, so skill is still necessary. The game's looks are quite the eye candy. Bright colors and interesting design help to bring the game alive. Sonic himself has a crisp animation. Ish. And the looks he gives in his idle animations are hilarious. Actually, it's quite a trademark. That bastard. The music is nothing short of iconic. 16-bit classic sounds that melt the ears and present throughout the whole game. The beeps and the bops are pleasing, bro. Ski. Nothing will really blind you, but it's nicely designed and starts Sonic unstained. Well, partially unstained record of awesome music. Well, that was a nice game, and Eggy Peggy dances with some weird stones at the end. Oh crap! Within this game are stones called Chaos Emeralds, and you obtain them by going through the trippiest special stages ever. Seriously, Yuji Naka must have been smoking that pot that Agalo Megalo gave him. Hopefully this is only a one-time deal. My god, it's worse! If you obtain it, you can get a whole mess of points, but besides that, they don't do much. If you get all 6 of them, you can see Robbie the Eggman stomp on the ending phrase. A fun gesture, but not enough incentive to suffer through this! Sonic 1 certainly was a gem for the time. I'm seeing Mario here, Mario there, Mario everywhere in that tree. Red got annoying, and ushered in an era of blue, and the blue being, of course, Sonic. This, of course, started a massive following of the blue blur, and the Hedgehog has been loved ever since. Okay, that's a lie, leave me alone. Not perfect by any means, but an interesting experiment that caught everyone's attention. Well, everyone, that's enough of my Sonic 1 review. Join me next time for my Sonic 2 review. Now, I'm going to go back and celebrate that this video is finally done.